Starting with the great name of Allah, the most merciful and the most beneficent. My name is Nasir Ali Khan, and the presentation topic is to investigate the environmental effects of HVDC versus HVAC transmission systems. So, this is the assignment of the power transmission, which is instructed by the Dr. Hafiz Mudassir. So, let's begin. First, introduction. As we know, there are some severe drawbacks of HVAC, which compels the use of HVDC. As the drawbacks of the HVDC has increased, HVAC has increased the demand of HVDC transmission. As now we can see in the Pakistan, there are also multiple projects that are using HVDC. Some severe drawbacks of HVAC are corona effect, RF interfering, acoustic noise, electric fields, and electromagnetic interference. As HVAC voltages are from 200 to 800 kV, depending on the countries. In Pakistan, they are 500 kV, which are transmitted directly over the populated areas, terrains, and over water. And because of that, there are severe effects on environment and human beings. So first, we will discuss the HVAC. It is observed that due to high voltage transmission lines, diseases are being found in children, like cancer, leukemia, central nervous system tumor, etc. It is concluded by many researchers that there is less risk of cancer related issues in children exposed to the magnetic field created by the low electric lines, which means that researchers have said that if there are low electric lines, there are less number of diseases. But if the power in the electric lines increases, the chances of the cancer and other diseases increases. In developing countries, it is observed that children living near to industrial cities where power lines are exposed and near to them. In Pakistan, we see that there are a lot of population near to the industrial cities, and there are children which can be affected by these diseases. So children diseases are more found in those areas, and most of the children of that areas are affected in either cancer or leukemia. Risk of being affected by the transmission lines is directly proportional to the magnitude of voltages and of transmission lines. Normal distance from the transmission lines are 600 meter. There are very less chances of being affected if the distance is 600 meter between the human and power lines. So if a person is standing 600 meter away from the power lines, HVAC lines, there are very less chances that he can be affected. But as we know that there are less distance and the distance is not maintained between the power lines and the humans. So it affects the humans. The disadvantages of HVAC are, it is observed that due to high voltage transmission lines, diseases are being found in children like cancer, leukemia, central nervous system tumor, and etc. And these are very severe diseases. And for the children, it is likely to kill them. In the HVDC system, HVDC is now being used instead of HVAC in transmission lines because of some advantages of HVDC. HVDC is more preferable HVDC is more preferable for underwater, long line transmission lines, and weak link interconnections. As we can see in the towers, that there are big towers for the 800 kV AC, and they are 320 feet long. But if we see that, if we compare it with the HVDC, 800K for the 800 kV DC, we only need 130 feet of the place. So there are disadvantage as well. In the past, HVAC used to be more preferable, but now due to latest technology and improvement in power electronics, HVDC is in demand. HVDC is using the technologies like voltage source converters and current source converters. There is a skin effect, and because of it, the DC resistance is low, and AC resistance in the conductor increases, so the losses increases, in HVAC. There is a skin effect, and because of it, the DC resistance is low, and AC resistance in the conductor increases, so the losses increases in HVAC systems. So as we can see, there are multiple losses in the HVAC system as compared to the HVDC. So now we would compare the HVAC and HVDC with the technical parameters like magnetic field. First one is magnetic field. The magnetic flux density is inversely proportional to the distance from the conductor. So for the 450 kV DC, the flux density is 25, where in the AC, the flux density changes from the 10 to 50. So we can see the same flux density, for the same flux density, the flux density is increasing in the AC as compared to the DC. The other parameter is electric field. In the AC system, the electric field changes with the weather and increases with the humid temperature, whereas DC has less electric field problems when compared to AC. Corona effect. There is corona effect which produces hissing noise and have other disadvantages. As we can see in this picture, that it is violet blue color is, and there are hissing noises in these high voltage transmission lines. And corona depends on the electric field, atmosphere, diameter, and surface characteristics, but it is very less in HVDC lines. Acoustic noises. The acoustic noises are also produced. The allowable limit for the acoustic noise is the 35 and 45 dB. The HVDC lines produces less than the 10 dB, which is preferable at a distance of 350 meter. And in bad weather conditions, it can be low. However, in bad weather conditions, it increases in the HVAC system. So if the weather is bad, the acoustic noises increases. As we can see, when it rains in some of the areas, there are hissing noises, acoustic noises in the HVAC lines. So the conclusion is that in the end, we have compared both HVDC and HVAC by different technical parameters. It can be concluded that the low voltage AC lines are not dangerous, but the AC lines which are above 132 kV are dangerous if the safety distance is not maintained, and the safety distance was 600 meter. It can be seen that the HVDC has fewer hazards and is more environmentally friendly and has less effects on the human beings as compared to the HVAC lines. So that was all for today. Thank you.